Thank you, Tom, for that introduction. I'm really pleased to be here to discuss the performance of this exciting and growing sector of our economy and its positive impact on many millions of Americans. Since joining Commerce Department last year, I've been a big proponent of the outdoor recreation industry. As you know, Commerce not only collects the economic data being presented today, but we're also the home of NOAA and the National Marine Fisheries Services and our national marine sanctuaries. Fishing alone creates fantastic opportunities for economic growth in the United States. And according to the data we're releasing today, fishing and boating are the #1 most impactful American outdoor activity. Thanks to the work of Brian and our team at the Bureau of Economic Analysis, the outdoor recreation industry, our country now will know just how big and just how important your industry is to the U.S. economy. The numbers that BEA Director Brian Moria will soon describe are truly phenomenal. They show the outdoor industry generated $412 billion in revenue in 2016 and accounted for 2.2% of the entire GDP. Those are very, very big numbers. To put this industry in perspective, it's a bigger contributor to the economy than the chemical manufacturing industry and of all the nation's utilities. As BEA's data series indicates, the outdoor rec industry grew faster than the overall GDP in 2016. And if you were to include all the digital photographs taken by people engaged in the great outdoors and posting them to social media, I'm sure the industry would be even bigger. The growth rate of jobs for outdoor recreation sector, 2.3% in 2016, was also greater than the overall rate of job growth in the U.S. economy, 1.4%. People working in this dynamic industry are also experiencing a nice rise in their salaries, 4.3% in 2016, versus overall compensation growth of 2.7% for the average American worker. This new data series will provide the intelligence that thousands of companies and their employees can use to take advantage of important market trends and opportunities. Developing this new suite of data is also an indication of how our government and the private sector can work together to build the economy. In developing the statistics, BEA engaged directly with companies, trade groups, and individuals who are in the outdoor recreation industry. Their input further refined the data you see here today. And with the industry's feedback, BEA looked deeper into specific sectors and broadened the scope of the data sets. We reported last week good news about the number of foreign visitors coming to the U.S. each year. Many of these overseas visitors come to enjoy the experience and the bounty and the beauty of our country. They are an integral part of the outdoor recreation industry. The National Trust and Tourism Office at the Department of Commerce reported there was 77 million international visitors to the U.S. in 2017, an increase of about 1% from 2016. These visitors spent a record $251 billion in the United States and accounted for 32% of all of our exports in the service sector. The number of foreign visitors to the U.S. in 2018 remains strong, and these visitors are spending at a record-setting pace, up by 3% in the 7 months of this year through July compared with the prior year. And those overseas visitors come here to hike and bike. They play golf, fish, ski, hunt, and tour our national parks, monuments, and sanctuaries. Foreign visitors are a valuable component of the outdoor recreation industry. I'd also like to talk briefly about the administration's trade policy, since many of the industries represented here are directly affected by what we're doing. The administration is rebuilding our manufacturing sector, including production of the equipment used by millions of outdoor enthusiasts. If you go to a sporting goods store and check the country of origin labels, vast majority of everything Americans are buying now is made offshore, including 99% of our footwear, high-tech sportswear, luggage, and sporting goods, such as golf clubs, fishing poles, bicycles, lightweight camping equipment, virtually everything. Almost all of this gear was once produced in the United States, but due to errors made by prior governments in trade policy and due to the proliferation of unfair trade practices and foreign industrial subsidies, U.S. production shifted offshore, along with the thousands of good jobs it once supported in the U.S. The seminal report done by the Massachusetts Institute of Technology's Production in the Industrial Economy paper described how the United States cannot sustain innovation without manufacturing. They are dependent on each other. So for the sake of Americans who are inventing and innovating new outdoor products and equipment, we need to have manufacturing capability located in our country, close to our innovators and close to the market. We're changing the past mistakes in trade policy to make the United States the preferred place, both to design and to manufacture the products that your industry sells. And then finally, since it's also within the purview of the Department of Commerce, I will also mention the importance of NOAA to the outdoor recreation industry. NOAA did an amazing job just recently forecasting the precise track and potential impacts of Hurricane Florence throughout the Carolinas and the rest of the mid-Atlantic states. And it gave a greater period of advance notice than in prior years. So lots of people were able to do lots of things to minimize damage. With the GOES East satellites, high-resolution imagery, and our next-generation computer forecast models, NOAA provided companies and individuals in your industry with the precise forecasts they needed to protect assets and plan effectively for a massively disruptive event. Your industry is also a big consumer of government services, from Doppler radar to GPS to tide tables, navigational charts, and precise weather forecasts that enable people to enjoy the outdoors and get home safely. NOAA's satellites detect and locate emergency beacons from mariners, from aviators, and from recreational enthusiasts in distress. So far this year, NOAA satellites have aided in the search and rescue of 245 people in the United States. And NOAA's National Marine Fisheries Service monitors fish stocks and the catch limits that will ensure us to have sustainable recreational fisheries for generations to come. Those services are essential to your industry, and we appreciate your support for their sustainment. With that, I thank you all for being here.